Well, deja vu all over again. Here it is, day 2 of the severe weather threat. Yesterday, obviously, we had all the tornado warnings and all the stuff that went with that. Today, as we've been talking about a different kind of setup where we still could have severe weather, but it does not operate in the same mechanics as what we saw yesterday. So what we're looking at is a severe thunderstorm, gusty winds, large hail kind of thing, but we can't rule out a tornado. And this is the one that's in Lee County, just underneath Sumter County. The Tallahassee office has control of that, and they have issued that, but it's about to jump over into more of the Peachtree City world as far as warnings are concerned, and they have gone with a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Dooley and Crisp County right here. Maybe going to kind of go around Lake Blackshear, heading on off eventually towards 75. So the wording is severe thunderstorm, tornado possible with that. Let's take Max 2, if we can, on my podium here. And let me show you what's going on with the big picture. You can see the tornado watch, which goes for all of our area until 10 o'clock tonight. Other storms that are firing here. This is the only thing that we have a warning for, is this down here, Dooley and Crisp. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible because of what's coming out of Lee County. All of this other stuff is, for the most part, just garden variety thunderstorms out there. So kind of stuff you'd almost see in the summertime. As a matter of fact, we have a heat index going on out there right now. I've seen some spots, the heat index is 90 degrees. We have definitely the heat and the humidity. The sun's been coming out. Which is really starting to kind of destabilize things even more. So again, as we go through the afternoon, just watching to see if any of these put down some hail. I saw some earlier in Peach County. There is the potential for some of these today to maybe put up, not everybody, but upwards to even close to baseball size hail, which would be pretty amazing if we saw some of that. And then we have the storms that are back northwest Georgia into Alabama. So this is the way it's going to look through the afternoon. I wouldn't say the tornado threat is super low, but it is not super high. So it is something that it's mainly going to be gusty winds with this and some hail. We may see a brief spin up with some of this like you're seeing in Lee County right there, but I don't think it's the same kind of thing like we saw yesterday. And then we'll have the front coming through later tonight. Then the question is, will we see something along that front? There's some debate about that, whether or not, if we work the atmosphere over as we go through today with a lot of rain, and then we get into sunset and we start to kind of cool and calm things down. If maybe when the front comes in later, maybe there's not as much hoopla along with it, but we're going to have to wait and see as we get closer. So anything else that's out here for all of Central Georgia, for the moment, it is not severe. So we're keeping an eye on it. I know you're hearing thunder in all these places, but none of this is severe weather. This is here, Dooley into Crisp, and it is moving in kind of between Cordele and Unadilla. We're going to take you back to soccer, but we're going to continue streaming on all of our platforms. So we're kind of getting into it for the day now. So we're going to go on over there. You can find us, of course, on the app, on our website, Facebook Live, YouTube, all of those places. So we'll take you back to coverage, and we will continue on the stream. And if we need to come back on air, we will. So we may do some back and forth. We'll see you. There we go. There's some sound right there. We are still streaming here. Alex Forbes is over here with me. He's over at the podium right now as we are tracking what is potentially an active afternoon. Alex, it's a weird setup for this time of year. It's not something you see every day in April.
Yeah, Ben, I mean, just for everybody at home, Ben and I were talking about this for like 30 minutes today, trying to figure this out, figure out what we're going to see, when we're going to see it, what the threats are, how high we're going to go on things. And it's one of these days where we have so many things in motion that the way it lines up has huge impacts on the way we end up seeing things across central Georgia. So it's just really quickly for the threats today, we're looking at damaging winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles an hour, very large hail. We've seen the National Weather Service mention potentially up to 2 inches in diameter in some cases. And in fact, we're seeing that in a storm near Americus right now, and the threat for isolated tornadoes like Ben was just talking about. I want to take you down to Lee County now and show you what we're looking at because it's relatively close to our area, but I kind of want to show you what the National Weather Service has been pointing out here over the past few minutes, and that the rotation that we're seeing with this appears to be staying right along the Sumter-Lee County line. Watch that there. See how it loops like that. See, so it's not getting too terribly close to Dooley County, which is technically in the 13 WMAZ area, but we know we have a lot of viewers in Crisp County as well. But this headed in the general direction of Lake Blackshear, and it's moving relatively slowly. Ben, the last I saw from the Weather Service was the movement on it at, let's see, I believe it's 15. Something? Yeah, let me just, yeah. Well, so it's east at 30 now. So it looks like they have up to that a little bit. So if we track this east at 30, That brings it into Lake Blackshear neighborhood about 344, Rains about 348, over towards Coney 349. And again, those are in Crisp County there, and that's moving closer to the interstate. And as of now, parts of western Crisp County, southwestern Dooley County, and southeastern Sumter counties, they are in the severe thunderstorm warning that has the tornado possible tag on it. You can see that there, Crisp, Dooley, and Sumter until 3:45. The tornado warning for Lee County goes for the next 6 minutes here. So we're going to keep an eye on this storm. This is the only storm that has rotation strong enough right now in the state of Georgia, actually across the whole country, to prompt a tornado warning. There's only tornado warning in the area, but if you notice down to the south, another severe thunderstorm warning in southern Georgia. And really quickly, what's going on up closer to Macon in central Georgia? We are seeing thunderstorms. If you're in Byron right now, you're hearing a lot of thunder. If you're in Perry, you're seeing dark clouds off to the west. Fort Valley, dark clouds off to the south. And maybe some small hail embedded in these. We were poking around a few minutes ago, and we're seeing some hail in the Byron area. It looks like just south of Dry Branch, just south of Irwinton there in Wilkinson County. And this is, again, one of the threats that we have today for severe weather. So let's take a look at our severe weather impacts for today. You can see the timing started around 1, 2-ish, and it's going to continue through the sunset hours tonight until about midnight. Now notice that the hail threat drops off as we lose the heating of the day, but the tornado threat looks like it could persist for a little bit longer. The tornado watch that we have in effect for all of central Georgia runs until 10 p.m. tonight, and then damaging winds until about that time. But Ben, we've been talking about these models. They have been all over the place in terms of what we're looking at, what we should expect through the evening tonight. And really, it's one of these situations where we need to evaluate what's going on in real time and figure out the dynamics of what we're working with and what makes sense for to happen next, and that's what we're going to be doing through the afternoon hours.
Yeah, there's just a lot of moving parts, like you said, with this whole thing. I mean, it's not a typical sort of setup for this time of year. I'd say probably yesterday was a little more of that.